Next up, we have Marina Khaustova, and she will be giving a presentation on crypto compliance by data analytics. I'm really looking forward. And I think this is your first time here, right?
Yeah, it's the first time we're visiting this, yeah.
Yeah, great. Then welcome. It's very nice to have you, and the stage is yours. Have fun.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for having us on this conference. We missed it last time, but this time we're here. And yeah, happy to present our findings and maybe speak about something interesting for everyone attending this conference. I'm going to be speaking about practical issues and practical aspects of crypto compliance on a day-to-day basis. So who we are Crystal Blockchain. Does it work? Yeah. So we are a 70 people team, company based in Amsterdam. We also have offices in UK and also in Kiev in Ukraine. Also right now expanding quite heavily to United States. We are building risk management solutions which are targeting large financial institutions who we expect to be exploring cryptocurrencies and blockchain space in the forthcoming years. So I'm myself in crypto since 2015, and I have seen that previous crypto bull runs, every one of them was different nature, right? But the recent crypto bull run was obviously driven by institutionals, and the next ones are going to be of the same nature. So we really want to power these institutions and to give them solutions and tools which are familiar to them and which would allow them to, bring them peace of their mind when they're dealing with digital assets, allowing them to understand whether the assets are risky or not so risky and what actually to do with them and what to expect from them. So we are working with compliance teams, financial institutions around the world, but also with the investigators and law enforcement, helping them dealing with the crime related to cryptocurrencies. So investigating various cases of scams, Ponzi schemes, and other bad actors. And today, during this presentation, I'm going to be showcasing you a couple of stories where our input was critical, as basically we were stepping a little bit ahead than the regulators actually do. So yeah, it's not a secret, of course, for everyone in this room. And since you're sitting here, you understand that crypto is being adopted by the world at this moment quite aggressively. And despite the fact that we are in crypto winter, low volatility, and in general, like frozen investments into this space, still, again, the big financial institutions are also embarking on this journey, along with the average people who are getting more and more familiar with the cryptocurrencies. But that comes, of course, with the price, and it's nothing unique here, right? Every new method of exchange, of course, has bad actors who are trying to maluse this method of exchange, and cryptocurrencies. Of course, in media especially, you can hear some cases of people trying to launder funds that were obtained as a result of some malicious activity. Darknet stores, Ponzi schemes, again, scam schemes, various kind of sanction evasion is also happening at this moment. So all these funds are in circulation in various crypto assets right now. And again, it's nothing really different from what we see in the space of traditional financial assets. The only difference is that in crypto, it is very, very transparent by default and by design. So we have a quite unique ability by applying correct algorithms and correct data sets to actually track what's happening, and we should be doing that. So I'm very convinced that, again, there are, of course, bad actors utilizing cryptocurrency, but it's not going to last for a very long time because, again, by design, the immutability and transparency of the ledger would eventually lead to our revelations, right? So blockchain analytics is a very powerful thing. It actually allows financial institutions not only protect themselves from wrong assets, but it also helps them to understand the ecosystem around, the counterparties, to build their strategy and to actually decrease risks, not only associated with the compliance or regulation, but also portfolio risks, market risks, technological risks, and other. So technically, what we see right now is that regulatory risks mitigation, it becomes a first step to actually exploring the world of opportunities that might be provided by right blockchain analytics provider. And you start with actually complying right to local regulatory frameworks, to follow what your regulatory body tells you to watch after and to run the procedures that you have to do, but then you understand that it gives you so much more information, again, about the portfolio that you are managing, about the ecosystem that you're interacting with on a day-to-day basis. And also you can make and run stress test scenarios, like you could understand what is happening and what you would expect, to happen if largest players, they stop behaving as you would expect them to. Like, I'm speaking about Luna Terra crash, or the case where Tornado Cash was actually sanctioned, and therefore all other like mixers and mixing activities could also be considered risky. So that all can be brought to you by blockchain analytics solution, and I strongly encourage you to have a look at those solutions to understand, what other like utilization of those services could be important for you. And I'm thinking that, we are in this space since, with Crystal publicly since 2018. And we have started delivering this solution mostly to crypto-native companies, like cryptocurrency exchanges, trading desks, trading funds, everyone who deals with the cryptocurrencies on a day-to-day basis. But now the nature of our work is changing because, again, the big players are coming in and we are seeing much more banks among our customers. And they expect different things from us as a crypto compliance solution. I actually believe that the innovation that we could bring to compliance space, taking all the technological advances of the blockchain, it's much bigger than the innovation that could be brought in the traditional compliance. So we see this development and we see that there's a lot of need in 2023 from blockchain space for predictive analysis and case triage and much more automation. So our goal is to deliver these kind of solutions to the extended compliance teams coming from, again, large financial institutions. But it's not also only minimizing the amount of work for compliance teams. It's not only our goal at the core of what we do. Important part of our work is actually to protect our customers from some, I call them hidden, planted bombs, something that is happening right now and that might not be particularly pointed out by regulators, but definitely in future we can see that this might be a huge problem for the ecosystem. And I think on the previous sessions there were a lot of conversations about the role of the regulators and what exactly they should be doing, and particularly with the, since the beginning of the war, Russian-Ukrainian war, there are a lot of cryptocurrency-related organizations, they have been sanctioned. But did it lead to an actual, change in the way they worked? Not really, not always. And Crystal and blockchain analytics solutions can actually help you understand, how to protect yourself and your business from interacting with the undesired activities, and actually protect yourself from, finding out some money related to something that is being sanctioned or banned. So this case that I'm showing right now on the screen is the case of Hydra marketplace. This is a famous darknet marketplace that was operating for years, originating also from Russia. And basically it has been shut down in spring, finally. And all the activities for Hydra have stopped. So blue color represents flows and the revenues that were going in and out to this darknet marketplace. So you can see it like happily operating in 2020, 2021. And in 2022, the shutdown is basically happening. And yeah, I'm pointing it here. And technically, Hydra was also added to various like block lists, and regulators and law enforcement, of course, warned everyone for like interacting with them. I think it was also sanctioned. But if you look and you apply blockchain analytics, you can see a very surprising and unpleasant thing happening, because the Hydra itself is shut down, but there was another big player who was immediately, just created and raised up from nothing to actually take their place. And it will take maybe like also years or maybe months, before the regulatory bodies or law enforcement will point out to this player, and also tell that, this is something that you should not interact with. But using blockchain analytics solutions, you could do it yourself like already, and you see this change and this new infrastructure being raised up and in utilization. So that is our goal as we see it, actually to see how new entities, new infrastructures are being raised to continue the operations that are supposed to be banned. Another case that I want to highlight today is related to sanctions. Sanctions are of our particular interest. We have been following OFAC-originated sanctions for cryptocurrency-related companies since spring, since February actually. And our interest was like, okay, OFAC does block these entities and these addresses, but what happens in reality? Like, are there any changes? On this slide, you can see one particular exchange that has been banned here in April, 6th of April. And red and green represents the amount of money that this exchange has been receiving and sending to, their counterparties. The funny thing is that after it has been sanctioned, the volumes just grew up quite significantly, So nothing have changed. And you may tell me like, whoa, that's the sanctions originating from United States, and they might be interacting with someone else. We did look at that using our solution. And here are like 5 exchanges. All of them are they're based in the United States, or they're having a big representative offices in the United States. And this case shows, that this exchange continued to receive a lot of money from this particular entity. And this is a US-based exchange. Why is this happening? It's just, again, it's not possible to they're not using the same name, right? So you need to run the investigation, you need to use right solutions, you need to use right tools. This particular case is quite unique one, which we were following, and I don't think any other vendor at this moment has this kind of data. But their secret was in actually very sophisticated way of creating new infrastructures. They were able to destroy the old ones that were identified and raise up new ones in like 5 or 6 days. So this, new infrastructure, it was like created for new entities, new businesses, and they got registrations at these exchanges as a businesses, as a corporate counterparties, and they got verified, and they continued the laundering money. So technically here, you can see like 3 latest cases of how this was happening. So it's the same entity, just raising up, again, new infrastructure, sending funds until they are being blocked by this exchange, and then raising up a new one. Very fast, like 5 to 6 days. Amazing speed. Again, if you are utilizing right solution, you are able to track it by yourself and to see these affiliated parties and actually protect your business from that. Because technically, from the sanctions perspective and the regulator's perspective, things stay the same. OFAC has banned the name of the entity and a couple of addresses associated with that. But nothing like beyond that. And they will come to this case, and it will be very painful, for companies who have accidentally operated with them. So we are here to help and to be on the forefront of, protecting these businesses and particularly big institutions. So we're happy to help you with that, and thank you for your attention.
Marina, thank you very much for the presentation. It was very interesting. I've never seen something like that. And since we have some minutes left, would you be open to take some questions from the audience?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so if there are some, feel free to raise your hand. In the meantime, I'd like to ask, are there questions from the online audience already? That's not the case, but we have one here. Can we do this? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So you are only looking at regulatory advices to blockchains or actually blocked addresses from US or worldwide? Because it could be also against each other. For example, Russia, for example, could block some address or could ask you to block some addresses, or how does it work?
So we are following regulatory requirements for the territories which we are working with. So we are originating from Europe. Europe is our hometown, so that's our primarily focus. We have customers from the United States, so we're focused on them as well. Of course, different countries may have different opinions about the same thing. So at the core of the technological core, Crystal is not designed to tell who's good or who's bad, and I'm not the person to tell who's good, who's bad. But you can use the solution to actually tell the system who do you think is good and who do you think is bad. And the system will be following that and using these optics and just preventing you from interacting with unwanted counterparties.
Thank you.
I'll take that back. Thank you. We still have a few minutes left. Are there any further questions? Yeah, maybe how did you get first in touch with what you do now? What was like the moment that evoked your interest in that?
Well, I'm in crypto since 2015, and basically around 2018, 2019, it was a boom of ICOs, where a lot of companies were raising money and basically, disappearing with this money, or trying to build a product which didn't mean to be using like blockchain at all, and so on. So I was curious on, what kind of regulatory requirements are going to be like applied to these businesses in future, and how the businesses could protect themselves from that moving forward. So it was the first time when I understood that the compliance is really important, and the regulation will come, and yeah, we can do something with that. We could help companies with that. Fantastic.
I think you're probably not the only one who's been affected by these, or who has been motivated by these ICO frauds. Yeah, that goes to show how far you can come with the right motivation and the right technology or algorithm. Thank you very much, Marina. It was a blast to have you here.
Thanks, everyone.